What if I told you there is a substance used for over 4,000 years that does the same job as a common anti-inflammatory without destroying your stomach, without overloading your liver, and for just pennies per dose? Science has already compared curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, directly with medications like ibuprofen. The results surprised even the researchers. But there is a catch. 99% of people use turmeric completely wrong, and then, of course, they see no results at all. Stay until the end because I am going to show you exactly what to do. And there is a surprise ingredient that multiplies the effects by up to 2,000%. Turmeric, also known as golden spice, is the root that gives curry its yellow color. The scientific name is Curcuma longa, and it has been cultivated for more than 4 millennia in India and Southeast Asia. But only in recent decades has Western science begun to understand why it works so well. Today, there are more than 12,000 published studies investigating the effects of its main active compound, curcumin. In this video, I'm going to show you what happens in your body when you consume turmeric the right way, from the first few hours to weeks of continuous use. And halfway through the video, I will reveal the exact recipe for golden milk, with the right proportions, the ingredients that boost the effect, and the mistake that cancels everything out. Stay with me. Before we talk about turmeric, I need to explain something to you, because without understanding this, you won't understand why it is so powerful. Acute inflammation is good. It is your body working. You sprain your ankle, it swells. That is protection. You catch the flu, you get a fever. That is combat. The problem is low-grade chronic inflammation. This one is silent. You don't feel it, but it is active 24 hours a day, every single day, damaging cells, stiffening arteries, and messing up hormones. Researchers call it the mother of all diseases. It is associated with obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, chronic joint pain, and even cognitive decline. And guess what curcumin does directly? It blocks the main molecular pathway that activates this chronic inflammation, a protein called NF-kappa B. In simple words, it goes to the source of the problem and flips the switch off. But how does it compare to ibuprofen? That is the most interesting part, and the answer is coming up in the next section. In 2014, a study published in Phytotherapy Research compared curcumin with ibuprofen in patients with knee osteoarthritis. The result? Equivalent effectiveness in controlling pain and stiffness, with one crucial difference. The curcumin group reported fewer gastrointestinal side effects. And it doesn't stop there. Conventional anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen and diclofenac work by blocking enzymes called COX-1 and COX-2. Curcumin also blocks these enzymes, but it acts through more pathways at the same time. Think of it like this. A conventional anti-inflammatory is like a fire extinguisher that puts out the fire from the ceiling. Curcumin is like turning off the gas valve that was feeding the fire. It goes deeper. Additionally, the chronic use of common anti-inflammatories is linked to gastric lining injuries, increased risk of intestinal bleeding, and kidney strain. Turmeric, used in dietary doses, has a widely favorable safety profile, according to scientific literature. This doesn't mean you should throw your medicine in the trash. Intense pain, serious autoimmune diseases, post-surgery, all of these require medical supervision. What we are talking about here is prevention, support, and daily quality of life. Now comes the problem I promised at the beginning of the video. Why do most people see no results with turmeric? Curcumin has a serious issue. It is poorly absorbed by the body. If you simply sprinkle turmeric on top of your food and eat it, most of it passes through your digestive system without actually entering your bloodstream. Studies show that the bioavailability of isolated curcumin is extremely low. In other words, you ingest it, but your body doesn't use it. That is where the ingredient that changes everything comes in, piperine. It is the active compound in black pepper. Classic research published in Planta Medica showed that combining curcumin with piperine increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That is not a typo, 2,000%. And how does piperine do this? It inhibits digestive enzymes that normally break down curcumin before it can be absorbed. It is as if it opens a door that was locked. This is why traditional Indian recipes have always combined turmeric with black pepper, not by accident, but by ancestral wisdom that modern science has finally explained. There is also a second booster. Fat. Curcumin is fat soluble. It dissolves in fat, not water. That is why milk, especially whole milk or a fatty plant milk like coconut milk, is the perfect vehicle. It carries the curcumin straight to where it needs to go. And now finally the full recipe, step by step with the exact proportions. Before the recipe, let me show you what science indicates happens when you start taking golden milk regularly. Within the first few doses, curcumin already begins to interact with inflammatory markers in the blood. You probably won't feel anything yet, but the process has started. With 1 week of consistent use, people with mild joint pain often report a slight improvement in morning stiffness. The gut also responds positively. Turmeric has properties that support the health of the gastrointestinal lining. In 2 to 3 weeks, studies record reductions in clinical markers of inflammation, such as C-reactive protein. Those prone to acid reflux may notice fewer episodes. Curcumin has a protective action on the gastric mucosa. With 1 month of regular use, research with cardiovascular risk patients showed improvement in the function of the endothelium, the inner lining of the blood vessels. In other words, your heart will thank you too. And the cumulative antioxidant effect contributes to cellular protection against premature aging. The time has come. The golden milk recipe with all the ingredients validated by science. For 1 cup, you will need 1 cup of whole milk, coconut milk, or almond milk, 1 level teaspoon of turmeric powder, a generous pinch of ground black pepper. This is the mandatory ingredient. 1 teaspoon of honey, optional, but it helps with the flavor. A pinch of cinnamon, which has its own anti-inflammatory benefits. Half a teaspoon of ginger to further boost the action. Heat the milk over low heat. Do not let it boil. Add the turmeric and mix well. Add the pepper and the other ingredients. Stir for 2 minutes. Consume while warm, preferably at night. At night, because the process of cellular regeneration is more intense during sleep, and having curcumin circulating during this period enhances the effects. Mistake number 1, using turmeric without black pepper. We have already seen what happens. Minimal absorption. Mistake number 2, boiling the milk with the turmeric for too long. Excessive heat degrades some of the active compounds. Use low heat. Mistake number 3, using a tiny amount. A little pinch won't work. The functional dose studied starts at 500 milligrams of curcumin, which is roughly equivalent to 1 teaspoon of powder. Mistake number 4, using it for 2 days and giving up. Consistent effects appear with regular use over several weeks. So let's recap what you learned today. Silent chronic inflammation is at the root of dozens of conditions, and curcumin acts directly on the mechanism that feeds it. Studies compared curcumin to ibuprofen with equivalent results and fewer gastrointestinal side effects. Without black pepper, you lose up to 2,000% of absorption. The fat in the milk is the ideal vehicle for curcumin to get where it needs to go. Consistent effects emerge with regular use, not in 2 days. Golden milk is not an internet fad. It is a combination of ancient wisdom with modern scientific backing. Accessible, simple, and with an enviable safety profile. Of course, if you have a specific health condition, are pregnant, or use blood thinners, talk to your doctor. High doses of turmeric can interact with some medications. Information is power. If this video gave you any new information or made you rethink something, hit the like button now. This isn't just symbolic. The YouTube algorithm uses that signal to decide whether to show this content to more people who need it. You literally help others just by clicking. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Every week there is a video like this, with real science explained, no fluff. And now tell me in the comments, have you ever tried golden milk? Did you feel any difference? Let me know down below. I read them all. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself.